Hey, it's Mitch Native Survival. Today, I have some chaga with me again. I got from my buddy Kenny, and also from my buddy Matt Brooks. Now you're going to hear some cars nearby, because I am pretty close to the street, only maybe 400, 500 yards from it, something like that. But chaga is a phenomenal medicinal, which we're going to get into in another video. It is a tender fungus. So, you know, I'm really not a huge fan of burning it, because it's so powerful medicinally. However, something needs to be said, though, of its ability to catch a spark without being charred. Okay? This is literally a fungus that you can cut off the tree, throw it in your rucksack, and a couple of days later throw a spark on it and it'll catch like char cloth. Now I already did a video using my flint steel. Today I'm going to use my knife and flint. So the spark is smaller off of a knife, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, and it's a little lower temperature than an actual steel that's made for throwing sparks. So it's just a little more difficult test to see if a chaga can catch the spark off of the back of a high carbon knife, and the one that I use is 01 usually, 01 high carbon tool steel. So again, I think this is like really huge. It doesn't need to be prepped. It just needs to be dried out. You know, just throw it in your bag for a couple days, not a big deal. It doesn't need to be, you know, charred or burnt or anything like that. You don't need to be soaking it and playing around with it. I mean, you literally just cut it off the tree, throw it in your bag. Done deal. Let's get started. Alright, so there's my piece of chaga that I chose. So I'm going to just scrape the edge that I'm going to try to throw a spark on. And what that's going to do is it's going to expose the pores, because it kind of gets a little smooth on the surface from bouncing around your rucksack. That's just from a hand drill. So I'm going to do that up, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, see how it's a little different shade there now? Put it on my stone, find a good spot. Okay, make sure I have a good firm grip on my knife. There it is. First time I actually hit it. I missed it quite a few times. Oh, it went out. Alright. Cool. Game on. Let's try it again. Good times. I love this stuff. Love it. Alright. Let's try it again. It's important, guys, to be very lighthearted about this stuff, you know? You don't want to get all bent out of shape because it's not happening right away. It's not a big deal, you know? You know, living in the woods is very psychological. Very psychological. Let's try again. It's the name of the game, right? You should have a good firm grip. I am wielding a knife here, right? Very sharp, no joke. You know, sometimes this happens, guys, you know, it took a spark on the first hit, and it's pretty cold out today. It's below freezing now. It was a little above freezing earlier. And it went out. And I probably should have blown on it very lightly, help it grow a little bit. Well, I didn't. I thought it was good. It went out. So I'm gonna just keep at it. Alright, that's what we do. Keep at it. Alright, this stone's getting pretty beat up. Carry a couple stones. I can always tweak that stone later, but I want to make a fire now, alright? So I like to keep a couple stones in my kit. Just test a spot here, see how the sparks are doing. Very good. Okay. See how it goes. Right there. See that? All right, we're in business. Smells excellent too. Alright, so I'm gonna put this in my tinder bundle. All I'm gonna do is cut it right off, just drop it right in. See if I'm in frame for you guys. That should be enough. My Chaga's out. Excellent. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Alright. Okay, so sometimes, you know, you have to have some perseverance. So my Chaga's out. Can be used again and again and again and again. And, you know, it didn't take any prep. You know, I just threw it in my bag. You know, I didn't have to char it or play around with it at all. You know, I didn't need any tins, nothing. And this time I didn't even need a flint and steel kit. I just used a piece of flint and my knife, right? Last time I used my flint and steel kit. Now, obviously, I'd rather beat up my steel from my flint and steel kit than the back of my knife, whatever knife I'm using, which is usually why I choose to use the same knife all the time. So I'm kind of beating up one knife, but you know, it's alright. You can see it's fine, right? It can still throw ferro rod sparks. It's still completely functional. There's nothing wrong with it, but it will leave a mark on your knife because it is throwing steel that's igniting, it's combusting. You know, the rock isn't what's on fire. You know, those little embers you see flying off your flint and steel is actually the metal. Okay, so you are taking away from the surface. So I like to use a flint and steel like this, a fire steel, if possible. But it's good to know and practice that I can also do the same with my knife, you know, whether it be, you know, Umura or whatever high carbon tool steel you use, which is why I only use high carbon tool steel. Okay, so this was successful, although it took some work. A successful knife fire with some flint. with my Chaga. Alright, this has been Mitch Native Survival. Appreciate your views, your comments, and your support. And just realize that igniting a fungus with no prep work, char needed at all, you just have to dry it out. I cut into a small piece so it dries faster. Threw it in my rucksack, no big deal. And that technology of throwing a spark into a fungus to start a fire has been around for a long time. It's really one of the first percussive type styles. So making sparks by hitting things originally was stones. 2 stones to throw sparks onto a fungus. 2 main funguses were used. Chaga is one of them, Amadou is the other. And I really like Chaga because you know, there's no prep work like Amadou. Chaga, literally you just cut it off the tree and you dry it out. Again, cut it into a small piece, dries faster, throw it in your rucksack, no big deal, throw a spark on it, you're good to go. Now, today illustrated that sometimes it takes a few minutes to make it happen. You have to get a spark to land on it, everything has to be right. Now, as you saw, the first strike actually ignited it, but it just didn't take. Okay, so you know, you really want to persevere, and you want to stick with it, because it will work. You know, and that's really the key to all these skills. You know, you're not going to carve a bow drill the first time you've ever tried and get an ember the first time you start spinning. There's so many little intricacies, you know, and sometimes it takes dozens of times. It took me a lot of strikes before I got this to hold a spark. It took me a lot of strikes. Sometimes that's the case, right? So I think it's a key piece of earth living, or living in the woods, or survival, or bushcraft, all these different trains of thought. I think it's key to follow through, and it's very psychological. You know, you follow through, you keep at it, you want to be determined and persistent. You know, you don't want to fall apart and give up just because it's not happening right away. You know, you want to stay buoyant. Doesn't work a few times, it's alright, I'll keep going. No big deal. So, this has been Mitch Native Survival. Appreciate your views, comments, your support. See you in the next one. Take care.